Welcome. We're really excited to present our project today. We had the pleasure of working with FIAS, working with the sport of Sambo, but more specifically we worked in the sport of Combat Sambo, which is a discipline within that. It's a Soviet martial art, and it takes on a merger of a lot of the best techniques from other martial arts around the world, like strikes, throws and locks. Sambo is actually an acronym, and it literally means from a phrase, self-defense without weapons. So it's all about defending yourself rather than an attacking sport. With this in mind, we had the task of creating a set of strategic guidelines for the implementation of a new world tour system for Combat Sambo. So a new world tour for Combat Sambo. FIAS really wanted to increase the popularity and also the reach of Sambo to places where it hasn't been before. And they were very open-minded and wanted us to have a creative process. Looking to this, we saw an opportunity for this world tour to increase revenue, reach out through global media, and also inspire future generations to take up the sport of Sambo. Just to introduce the team quickly, Manuel has a background in marketing, communications, and digital strategy, and he's worked with big companies like NBA and Nike. Tavi is a physiotherapist and worked with professional teams and is also an entrepreneur. And Murat was Secretary General of the Taekwondo Federation and has a lot of refereeing experience at World Tours and at the Olympic Games. And for myself, I have competed in similar World Tour events in karate and have a lot of background in different martial arts. So to start off, we wanted to see where we're at and look at other benchmarks of what's good practice, who has implemented world tours before, and what opportunities we could then take to Sambo and what would fit well. We first looked at some federations that implemented similar professional world tours. They've had world championships and tours that were more traditional, but in recent years there's definitely a trend to being more elite, more professional as a side project to the World Championships. From these three, we took new ranking models, we took competition format and strategy going forward. We also looked at non-martial arts, so we looked at basketball in particular because it shows the way a traditional federation like basketball can pick a new competition system like FIBA 3-on-3 and really make it work and make it popular, engage new fans and new people. From 3-on-3, we also took a ranking system, the ability to change competition format and host cities and venues. We also looked at the company, UFC, which produces and promotes MMA, mixed martial arts. UFC wasn't always so popular. It's about 20 years old, but in the last 10 years the popularity has really skyrocketed. And what we're taking from that is mainly the promotion and communication. They've done this really well through social media and through broadcasting. So now to get into the details of what the World Tour will actually look like, what the structure and the format of the World Tour will be. We looked at some of the federations, and we're going to have 8 preliminary events scattered around the world so that we get to good locations and bring Sambo to different places. These preliminary events will have an internal ranking system where the athletes can gain points towards a grand finale. The grand finale is taken from the UFC type model as well, where you really have at the end of a year a showcase of your finest athletes. You want your 2 elite athletes at the very top and create a real ambience around this, a real showcase business model. To get to the grand finale, number 1, you have to be the best ranked competitor in your weight category. That will guarantee you access to the grand finale. For the number 2, the person that goes against that, we've decided as part of our marketing strategy that we would introduce a public vote system to engage with the audience and fans, and they would be able to choose from ranks 2 to 5 for safety and quality purposes. Qualification into the program, we want the national federations to propose their athletes, but then final approval will always be with FIAS to again ensure safety and quality. Then they go through the preliminary events and finally get to the grand final. Also, we've seen that spectators have a lower and lower attention span. So we may need to reduce the amount of time the preliminary events are held over. We suggest 1 day, as currently there's 2 to 3 days in World Championships in different events. We want to avoid empty venues and we want to get people excited about the competition. Also looking to the future, we want to include women's categories in Combat Sambo. They're currently in Sport Sambo, but not in Combat Sambo. Through market research, women in sport is on the rise. It's 50% of your markets, and women in martial arts is especially on the rise. We don't want to introduce these categories straight away. We want to have showcase events or bouts at the preliminary finals and at the grand finale. This helps build the athletes to an elite level and also helps promote it amongst the younger generation. Also, the public ranking system will be available online on a database where fans and athletes can look up what their ranking is, what the current points are, kind of like the FIBA 3-on-3 system. It's really motivational for both fans and athletes to keep track. Going to host cities and bidding, we want to grow Sambo in countries where it's currently not as popular and also maintain and grow in the countries where it is popular. We were looking at a 2-tier system for bidding and hosting. Tier 1 would be a fixed contract of a yearly competition, but they would hold that contract for 3 to 5 years. So those same countries would host 3 to 5 years. This gives you stability in those hosting countries. Also, then Tier 2, this would be 1-year contract, and they would bid every year if they would like to rehost it. Now, we base this tier system on popularity of Sambo in the country, their current experience of hosting games and multi-sport games, and their interest in other martial arts. We also explored the idea of iconic venues, which is being done by a wide range of federations at the moment. Here you see FIBA 3-on-3. So for the preliminary events, we want to make sure that there's natural transit footfall to the event to avoid empty seats and to get spectators into our crowds. This is really important to engage with new communities and new athletes, new future Samboists. With the grand finale, we'd like to work up to something a bit more spectacular using some temporary infrastructure. The great thing about Sambo is to actually set up, you need your matted area, but then you can add on with temporary infrastructure and other ideas to make that around. Because of this possibility, you can also go in front of iconic buildings and places and really bring Sambo to people. We analysed the current calendar for all the Sambo sports to see where this world tour would fit in. The only change that we would suggest is that the World Championships be changed from the end of the year to the start of the year. This would allow for our grand finale to be at the end of the year after all the preliminary events and have a real build-up and buzz to it. We also want it to be separate from the World Championships so they don't cannibalise the market, and the World Tour is really seen as a separate new professional entity. The colour system here is just for visual purposes. So to make this happen, we really need a strong marketing and communication strategy.
So, in terms of the marketing and communication strategy, we could have a great event, but if we don't promote it well, if we don't tell people what we're doing, if we don't let them know that we are onto something good and something new, then it's not going to work out. So first of all, we have to set up who are we talking to, who's our target, what's our communication going to look like, who are we going to especially target on to digital platforms, and all that. So through the information provided by FIAS, this information has been taken from the Facebook account. We figured out that 92% of the people that follow the page are men. So Karen has been talking about it, about introducing women and the importance of that. Also, we saw that the base of the age group is from 18 to 34. That also helps us a lot because there's a lot of young people out there. So that let us know that our communication has to be young, has to be energetic, has to be very, very for the young people. Also, 21% of the people that goes to that page, this is very important, they have their configuration of Facebook in English. That doesn't mean that they're native English speakers, but they have their Facebook configuration in English. And 13% have it in Spanish. This is specifically interesting because currently Sambo is very Russian-centered. So we have to actually, we know that at least 21% of the people that follow us on Facebook, they speak English. Oh, sorry about that. There you go, sorry. Also, 11% of the people come from the United States, 8% from Brazil, and 7% from Mexico. These we have to take it into a little bit of with caution, because a lot of people are using VPNs, they're using masks, and usually they go through the United States. But still, it's a good indicator from where our fans are coming from. Now that we know who we are talking to, we have to set up what we're saying. So there's a study by FIAS that says that 70% of the consumers would, no, sorry, let me start again with that. There's a study by FIAS that says that fans or consumers wouldn't care if 70% of the brands would disappear. So in order to make that, we have to make a meaningful connection with our fans or with our consumers. That study says that we have to fulfill three elements, which is giving them functional, giving them something functional, making them proud of our brand or of our league, and giving back to the community. This is a trend that has been going up in the latest years of giving back to the community, doing a lot of CSR. So taking that in mind, then we set up some activities and some tactics to actually talk and to promote the events before, during, and after. It is very important that we not only communicate during the event, so we have a longer tail of communication. So when are we saying it? Before. I would love to go through all of them, but we don't have much time, so I'm just going to talk about some of them. So first of all, before introducing the event, it is very important that both FIAS, with the national federations, give a big press conference, starting with FIAS, and then each national federation that is participating in the events give their own, so we can have a global communication and a global promotion. Video teaser. Content is on the rise as well. People consume a lot of content every day, so we have to, video is always very useful, and it also helps us to promote it through Google Sites, Google platforms, Facebook. Video is on the rise, so a video teaser letting them know who our athletes are going to be, where's the events are going to be, the whole cities, everything that's going to help us a lot to build up to the event. The team tour. So before the teams or the athletes go to participate in our events, we propose that the National Federation organize a farewell tour where there are a lot of CSR activities where the National Federation, along with the athletes and FIAS, do something for the community, either teach the basics of Sambo, let them know how it's self-defense art. So we are actually giving back to the community, and that we are fulfilling with the functional, the being proud of, and CSR. What are we going to do during the event? Live streaming is fundamental. It's very important so that we have more reach. If not the whole thing, because later on I'm going to talk a bit about the distribution of the events in terms of broadcasting or streaming. But if we sell it to someone else, then it's very important that we do highlight packages through the internet, or YouTube, or Facebook, or whatever we decide. Short packages. So when we were doing our benchmarking, we went to the YouTube page of FIAS, and we saw that the highlights that were on there were 20 minutes long. We have to do very small action-packed packages that excite people and get them interested in Sambo. Also, the results, it's super easy nowadays to make some alliances with applications. There are a lot of apps for sports right now, and you just have everything on your phone. Every time I wake up, I'm from Mexico, so every time I wake up, I have tons of push notifications from my apps saying everything that happened in America with the sport that I follow, with the football in Mexico, basketball, and so I'm up to date in 3 minutes. So that's something that we have to do also in Sambo. Just the results, straight away, super easy. Partnership rights. This is very important when we sell a sponsorship, it is very important to push and push and push the sponsors to actually use their benefits. If we sell to them and they have a lot of benefits, and it's very common that they don't use it. So we have to push them and even help them if it's needed, because at the end of the day, that's promotion also for the events, for our athletes, and that's actually going to help us. And it also enhances the experience of the fans. Lastly, what are we saying after? For the championship, for the winner athletes, Similar to the farewell tour, it's also very nice when it also builds pride for the fans when someone from your nationality is a champion. So it's very good to receive them as a champion and organize it with the national federation and recognize what they have done and all their effort. Also, as I said before, content is on the rise. Video follow-up. It's very important to build icons of the athletes that we have. So what do they like? What do they do when they're outside the mat? When they're not competing, what type of hobbies do they have? And that's going to help building a relationship with the fans so they feel close to them. And they start to have favorites or people that don't like, which is also a little bit good. And back of the house, it's always good and it's not that expensive anymore to have a camera around. We could have a small setup, we don't need a whole cinematographic production. Small camera that is always taking aspects of everything that happened, and at the end of the day, meaning of the year, of all the events, we can set up a package of everything that the fans couldn't see. So behind the scenes, bloopers, everything, VIP experiences, everything that happened, just put them together in different video packages and just promote them through YouTube, Facebook, social media, or even if we have a distribution partner, through them. That's also very good. In terms of the revenue sourcing, we also saw when we were doing our research that there's a lot of properties that are not very well, they are not being used to promote or to give sponsors some benefits. So the athletes were competing without sponsorship, the mats have no sponsorship in them, so we also proposed to start using those mats. I mean, the mats, you could have the central part, you can have the corners for the promotion, for the sponsors, and for FIAS itself. It's also very important to start making noise about FIAS. Because what if someone stumbles into a clip or a video on YouTube, and oh, that's a good fight, but I don't know what sport is it, or I don't know what organization makes it. So it's also very important to also have the FIAS logo every time and visible in the athletes, on the mats, and everything that we do. And this is pretty much like the basic distribution for the sponsors. We suggest to start with the four most common slots, which is the presenting partner, the official partner, a technical supplier, and a regional partner. The regional partner is very important because that can give, it's another incentive for the host cities to actually have the event, because we can give the regional partner to them to sell. So the host city can also make some money out of organizing the event, and it's not just spending and spending and spending, right? And this is some of the benefits that we could have, but of course, when we have the final package, we can just finalize it. Finally, in terms of distribution, it is very important where can fans see the events or our world tour. There could be two approaches, right? The first one is YouTube, which FIAS already does and does it very well. They have very good streaming either through their website or through YouTube. And that gives us a lot of mobility. I mean, YouTube already has 1 billion active users. And some accounts are actually making money. The accounts that make 6 figures in US dollars on YouTube are growing by 50% each day. So it is also a good thing to have in mind. But the ideal, or what we are proposing, is to partner with some property or with a broadcaster or a network that has experience growing sports and growing specifically new sports. ESPN, it's huge in the United States. It has a lot of arms and interesting arms, such as ABC and some other. But more importantly, they have a lot of experience growing their own sports, such as they started the X Games, and we all know that they're going to be in Tokyo 2020. Not the X Games per se, but action sports, and ESPN was the one that started with it, or that made it mainstream. This year they started broadcasting Glory Sports, which is a new kickboxing league, which is very interesting and is getting a lot of attention recently. They're broadcasting it for the first time this year. And, more interestingly, just to finish, this year they're also starting broadcasting the championship drone racing. So, I think that FIAS we could safely assume that FIAS is much more interesting than drone racing. So if drone racing did it, we can do it with Sambo very easily. And so now we are open to questions, comments from you.